guys, welcome back to the channel. As you will have seen, hopefully from the b-roll that I put in before this, and from my location, I'm not at home. I am on my holidays. I have a little start of year treat holiday to myself. It's just a happy coincidence that this coincides with my birthday, which was a week ago. Mostly it's because for the first time in quite a number of years, this happens at most like once in a decade, but the European Figure Skating Championships are currently being held in the UK. So I have come down to Sheffield to treat myself, and I'm going to be attending and watching the last 3 days. So I'm going to get to see the rhythm dance for the ice dancers, which means I get to go and support home favourites and medal contenders, major medal contenders at Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. We are proper rooting for them. This year they are skating to, I think their rhythm skate is Spice Girls and their free skate is a Scotch melody and medley. Yeah, we're super excited about that. And I'm also going to get to watch the free skate for the ice dancers, the men's and the women's individuals, which I am so incredibly excited about. I'm going to get to see both Kevin Amos and Luna Hendricks, and they're sort of like my two favourites that are competing here this week. Yeah, and I'm also going to get to watch the gala on Sunday. Today is Thursday, so I've got like 3 full days ahead of me. And the gala is going to be a mixture of everybody. Once all the competitions are done, at the end of skating competition, like the major elite ones, there's a gala where it is just exhibition skates. It's where they're not beholden to the strict rules that they have to comply with in their competition skates and the skaters. They just get to have fun and show off a bit. And you get a mixture from all 4 disciplines, and it's going to be incredible. I am a little sad I didn't manage to get all event tickets, so I am only getting to see 3 out of the 5 days. That's just because there was a mix-up and they were supposed to email out to be like, the all event tickets are available, and they didn't, and I'm not salty about it at all. But I'm still really grateful that I'm getting to come down here for, you know, relatively affordable prices. I think the tickets were about £50 each day, so I really, to come witness my absolute favourite sport in person, yeah, I am really, really excited. So I thought, what better than to take you guys along with me, do something a little bit different on the channel. So yeah, that's what the week looks, that's what the weekend, this like long weekend I've given myself ahead looks like. I travel home on Monday morning, so I won't really vlog anything on Monday other than the journey home if it's interesting. I do have to say, the journey down today was so smooth. It's been such a good day for traveling. I had a window seat, I had no one sitting next to me the entire journey. I was in the quiet coach, I got the LNER down and the quiet coach, and oh my gosh, up until York, which was like the second to last stop and like 20 minutes before I got off, everybody fully respected that this was a quiet coach we were sitting in. And I think after Newcastle it was packed, and usually when the train is packed, the quiet part of the quiet coach goes out the window. But no, for the most part everyone was really, really respectful of that, and it just made such a pleasant trip down. I did some reading, I did some knitting, and yeah, I had like a really good trip down. It's now about, it's just gone 4 o'clock, I think. I left the house at 7. Actually, I left the house just before 7 because my train was at 10 to 8. So by the time I got to work, I parked at work and then walked up to the train station. So I have been on the go for a little while now. After I finished chatting to you guys, I'm saying I've made a coffee, which like I am flagging, I'm not gonna lie. It's only the excitement of the fact that I'm actually here that is keeping me awake right now. And my phone needs to charge for a little bit, so I might take a quick cat nap, or just like close my eyes for half an hour or so, and then I'm gonna go out and get some dinner. I've looked up, there's a place called Pho, or Pho, however you pronounce it, that is Vietnamese, that looks quite good, and they have a lot of vegetarian options, like half their menu is vegetarian, so I think I might go do that. And Vietnamese food is just not something we get in Inverness, so I like to, whenever I'm traveling, try and eat food that I can't get in Inverness, you know. So I'm not going to go for like typical pub grub or like fish and chips or something, because I can get those aplenty. So I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to drink my coffee. I'm going to chill out for a little bit, and then we're going to get some food. And then I had a look on iPlayer and the Red Button. What is it? I think it's the Pears free skate is this evening, which I don't have a ticket for. They are showing, but it only starts airing at, I think it's like 5 to 7. But I know that event starts at like 5 or 6. So thankfully the ISU, for anyone who is interested, obviously it's a bit late for this one by the time this video goes out, but to keep an eye on Four Continents, Worlds. The Olympics is probably going to air on TV, so don't worry about that one. But for any figure skating event that you want to watch in its entirety, particularly like the elite ones, so this includes the Grand Prix, the entirety of the Grand Prix series, the official ISU YouTube channel is actually really good, and they do live streams of it with commentary, and really good commentary that explain things really well without talking down to you either. So really recommend going checking them out if you're interested in watching more. Yeah. I'm going to caffeinate, stop waffling, and I will probably chat to you guys either later tonight or tomorrow. Good morning. It's a little after 9. I've been up for a little while. I've been down to the hotel reception restaurant area, had some breakfast. I had quite a big breakfast, especially for me because I'm not a breakfast person, but I had a cooked breakfast minus the meat, which was actually quite nice. It's the first time at like a hotel buffet type thing I've seen, as well as, you know, your standard baked beans and grilled tomatoes. They also had like hot chopped, like mixed chopped tomatoes, and that was actually really pleasant. So yeah, I am feeling very, very full, but that is good because I don't really know what my eating schedule is going to be like today. I know I'm not going to be eating out for my dinner. I have very deliberately packed like pot noodle type things, not actual pot noodles, but like cup noodle type things for when I get back, because I know I'm not going to get back to the hotel until at least 11 o'clock, I think, tonight. What have we got on the schedule competition wise today? We're going to be watching the rhythm dance for the ice dancers. So this will be the first time I get to see Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. And then it is the women's free skate, so we'll get to see who wins the women's. So obviously I'm very excited for that. But yeah, like I said, it doesn't finish till like 11. I think the rhythm dance starts at, well no, I think that finishes about 10, half 10, and then by the time I get back to the hotel. The ice dance, rhythm dance starts at 12, so not that long to go. Oh guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I plan on just grabbing something at the arena in between. And that will basically be like a late lunch, early dinner type thing. And I've packed lots of like cereal bar snacky things. So I'm not going to starve, but yeah, let's face it, this holiday is not a food holiday. This is just an eating when I can holiday. But yeah, I didn't update you guys last night. I went out, hopefully I've added in the B-roll already, but I went out and I went to this place called Faux, which was about a 10-15 minute walk from the hotel. Oh wow. 100% will recommend, would go again. It was so nice in there. The atmosphere was lovely. The food was delicious. And more importantly, it was really solo diner friendly. I didn't feel awkward at all. In fact, I'd say about half of the venue, half of the restaurant was filled with solo diners, which was just really nice. So I sat there, I read a couple of chapters of the book, and with that, I am going to say goodbye because I'm going to go start my day. Like I say, it is probably 9:15 by now, so I'm going to go leave. I want to leave the city centre by about 10:30, 11, so that I can be at the arena for 11:30 for the rhythm dance starting at 12. I wanted to scope out like the food options and merch options, but also if I have time in the city centre, there is an independent bookstore. Of course there is, that I want to check out, maybe buy something from, who knows. Yeah, so I'm gonna go get ready for the rest of my day. I will insert some B-roll following, and then I will chat to you guys tomorrow morning. Bye. I will update you guys properly tomorrow once I have slept in theory and had breakfast and am coherent. But oh my god, that was amazing. Holy crap, that was so good. Like, oh my gosh, like the ice dancers were incredible, but the women, I got to see the women's free skate tonight and holy crap, they all brought their A game. There were tears. They were crying, I was crying, the stadium was crying, and yeah, wow, my hair is, yeah, that's fine, it's fine. I spent like 12 hours in that stadium and it was worth it. Yeah. I need to go have a cup of tea, have a shower, contemplate eating because I've not really done a lot of that today. And yeah, proper, better update tomorrow when I'm hopefully, I can form more of a sentence than, oh my god guys, that was amazing and so good and incredible, and I still have 2 more days. I love past Amy for buying these tickets and not chickening out. Yeah. Good morning. I am definitely coming at you a little more bleary-eyed than I had anticipated. It took quite a while to no one else's shock but my own, but it took me a while to fall asleep last night. It makes sort of like the excitement did take a while to wear off a little bit, but also this hotel room, I think the rooms themselves are relatively soundproof. I don't hear people in other rooms, but I do hear a lot of people walking past my door, and unfortunately my room is like right next to the elevator, so with one exception, every other room has to walk past my door. And I think the vast majority of this hotel are probably here for the figure skating. Because we all got back at the same time last night, I think. And yeah, just, unusual. The beds, like, they're not uncomfortable, but they're not the comfiest either. But it's fine. If I'd wanted to stay somewhere nicer, I would have had to pay a lot more. And for all that I'm in this hotel room, once I've done this update, I'm gonna leave for the day, and then I'm not gonna be back until, I want to say it was just after 11 I got back last night. So I'm anticipating it being pretty much exactly the same again tonight. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I vaguely remember giving you a incoherent screaming, not quite screaming, update last night. But yeah, this game was incredible. Oh my lord, I cannot begin to put into words just how an amazing an experience it is to be able to see it and watch it live in person. Most years, for most competitions, I watch it live on the ISU YouTube channel, which I will link down below for if anyone's interested and they want to go and watch some more. That it is genuinely your best resource to watch the elite competitions, at least. But yeah, oh my gosh, what you see on the TV or on YouTube is just, compared to what you see in live, it just doesn't do it justice. It's going to be hard going back to watching it online, knowing what I'm missing out on now. My interesting takeaways from like the event itself and how things are organized. On screen, you really do not have it really does not put across just the appreciation of how much ice these athletes are covering. Many a time I found myself thinking, why do the jumps always happen at the end of the rink? Like, they never do a jump in the middle of the rink. They do, actually. It's just the way it's filmed. It looks like they're doing it at the end of the rink. When you're watching the stream, like, you get like a little box that appears in the corner, that has like their current, like the leaders' technical score, the current competitors and skaters, cumulative technical score, and then it has like the little boxes that like go green, red, or whatever to show whether it's like positive or negative GOE. You get that in the arena. So right in the center of the rink on the roof, there's like this square 4 screens in the middle, and then there's also one right at the very end, just above the kiss and cry. And yeah, so in the arena we can watch that, we can see that happening, and I just can't help but think that it's really mean, because although they don't really have much of a chance, what if the skater clocks that and they see it's like, they think they're doing really well, and then it's all like red GOE, and it's like, oh, like, yeah, not a fan of that for the skaters. What we have in addition to the little box is that we also have a little timer in the corner. So once they've been called to the ice to start the performance, there is, I want to say it's like half a minute or something. I need to double check, I'm not 100% certain. But there is a set amount of time that the skater has to get into position to start their program. So we see that little timer. There's a little timer that resets and starts once they start performing, so we can see how long their performance is. But there's also one that counts down for the warm-up, so the observers can also see how long they've got. And obviously the skaters get like their 1 minute warning and then get told to get off the ice. So yeah, that was really interesting. None of that was expected, and it was one of those where I had to do a double take the first couple of skaters that came on. This is something I really, really don't agree with, and I think it should. I don't know if this is like a British thing, this is just a Europeans thing, or if this is like an across the board thing. But the minute the skaters finish their performance, they do their bows. Sometimes they're elated, sometimes they are absolutely devastated because they themselves know they've just done a really bad skate. I don't think any of the skates were bad, but they know that they've left a lot of points on the ice, particularly a couple of like the earlier girls. The first girl who performed, she didn't fall on one of her jumps. She fell on the rest of them. And by the time that performance, like huge kudos to her, because she kept getting up and she kept going. I mean, she is the example of resilience and perseverance. But she ended it. She ended her program. She's absolutely devastated. You can see it on her face. She comes off the ice. She gives her coaches a hug. And then she is immediately ushered to the kiss and cry, not with her coaches, just on her own initially, and with one of the presenters. Thankfully, it was with Mark Haggerty. I'll put his name up here somewhere. With Mark, because he is much more sensitive and much better at presenting and talking to them than Molly was. But yeah, it's always with Mark or Molly. They get shimmied over there, and then they have like a little 10-second interview where like Mark asks slightly better questions. Molly will ask something completely inane or just make a statement, and they're supposed to respond, and it's like, you didn't even ask them a question. Well, like one of her statements was, it was an interesting choice of music you've picked this season. You know, as the audience, we can really see you've connected with it. Bless her, the skater she said this to actually was just like, I'm sorry, what was your question? I was like, yes! I don't think anyone actually enjoys these segments. They're just so incredibly awkward. Particularly, but like I said, yeah, it's fine to an extent if they've had a really good skate, but when they've had like not a great skate, it's like, this is the last thing they want. Certainly the last thing I would want. Like I say, Mark is a lot better about it, because you can see him having a quick little chat with them, assessing sort of like, okay, how are they going to respond? What are they doing? How are they feeling? How do I do this? And I think you can see him asking like, I can ask you this or like whatever. Molly would just, she barely interacts with them as they come across. Because it's like they come up onto like a little platform and then have to like cross over to the kiss and cry. It's not just like immediately there. And she's like, because they have to do it like quite quickly, and I think Molly's got that stuck in her head. I do have to give her some grace. It is, by all accounts, her first year co-presenting any of the skating events. She's not long retired from skating. I believe she was an ice dancer for Canada, and apparently was on Dancing on Ice and won Dancing on Ice last year. I don't watch Dancing on Ice, so I could not confirm this or not. But yeah, needless to say, was not a fan of that whole part. But beyond that, this entire experience, I still got today and the gala tomorrow, but so far, like if today's anything like yesterday, it's going to be incredible. The entire experience has been absolutely wonderful. The only negative about the seat I had yesterday was that, and thankfully they left halfway through the ice dance, weirdos. But I partially got adopted by this slightly older gay couple. The one that was sitting immediately next to, like, they were obviously there for him. Like, he was the fan, although I use fan loosely because he's not a skating fan, he's a Cizeron fan. Cizeron is one of the French French ice dancers. He has recently, as in like just this season, this is his first season with a new partner. He was previously partnered with Papadakis. So Cizeron and Papadakis are world champions. He was very much there for Cizeron. Because after Cizeron's group had gone, he left. But yeah, his commentary throughout it. There was a couple of women sitting behind us and they were like chattering away through it. Oh my god, oh, that was really good, blah, 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 blah. At one point after someone had performed, one of the pairs had performed, he actually turned around to them and was like, do you mind? I did not pay to come and hear you chat. I was like, mate, the entire audience are chattering away to ourselves. The music is certainly loud enough. No one is being disrespectful. You're just being a prick. I keep calling them pairs, but they're couples, whatever. the one of the women, she actually fell. And for the rest of their performance, oh, it's terrible. Oh, terrible. Oh, terrible. And then they got scored, and they got scored in the early 50s. I want to say she got like 50, they got like 54 or something. And it was a new season's best for them, so even despite the fall, they still did really well. And he was like, oh, I thought for sure that was going to be in the 40s. She must feel so terrible. She must feel so terrible she let them down. It's like, mate! Personally, I'm just really impressed by how well she recovered from that, because falls in ice dancing are not nearly as common as in the other three disciplines. So I imagine that for those performers, it is much more difficult for them to bounce back they're not going to bounce back necessarily quite as easily as pairs or individuals. And yeah, I thought she did phenomenal. In fact, I think that second half after she'd fallen, they did, I don't know, their PCS score went up. Like, their performance score went up. But he was so focused on this fall. However, before it had properly started, because we were both there for at least some of the ice dance practice, he was saying that he was only there for the ice dance, and he's a big Guillermo. I can't pronounce Cizeron's first name, okay? He kept calling him by his first name, but I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even trying. That was the closest you're going to get. But yeah, he was mostly there for Cizeron. He was only there yesterday and today because he's only interested in the ice dance. Pairs is boring because they fall too much. I'm like, pairs are slightly more exciting because they literally throw each other across the ice. But okay, fine. I do appreciate the artist. There is much more artistry in ice dancing than any of the other three disciplines. So fair point. More than fair point. We all have our preferred disciplines. Mine are the individuals. It's just we all, that's how we are, okay? But yeah, no, pairs is boring because they fall too much. And he doesn't really care about the individuals. So yeah. I had just many comments from us like, stay polite, you're not making a scene. You gotta be sitting next to this guy for another 10 hours, Amy. Be nice. Thankfully, after Cizeron had performed, him and his partner got up and they took their stuff and left. So I actually don't think they're coming back because during the break between the practice and the ice dance, the rhythm dance, they had left their stuff. So it's like, I don't think they're coming back. I'm not sure if he just moved seats, because we were told that especially those of us on the upper tier, that if we want to move down into the lower tier, we're absolutely encouraged to do so to fill those seats, because quite a lot of them, actually a huge amount of them, were left empty. He's like, with caveat that if someone comes and says that's my seat, you move. So I don't know if they moved into other seats or if they just went home. In my headcanon, they just went home because that feels appropriate for that guy. But it did mean that I had the rest of the ice dance, which is the last two groups, so arguably the best of the ice dance, and all of the individuals, all of the women's free on my own, so that was great. For the ice dance, my standout performances, okay, yes, Cizeron and his new partner Baudry, something like that. They were really good. They were definitely a standout in that, I can't remember what their music was. I want to say it was Moulin Rouge or something. It felt very individual within the ice dance because, oh my lord. I want to say the theme for the ice dance rhythm dance this year was the 90s. Something along those lines. The amount of Ricky Martin we had. Holy crap, the amount of Ricky Martin we had. In one group of 5 couples, I think 3 of them danced to Ricky Martin. By the time the last couple had danced to Ricky Martin, I think we all I expected them to score a bit more, but I also think the judges are thoroughly sick of your music, and I think that's working against you. Lila Fear and Liz Gibson were incredible. They did their Spice Girls medley. I think they had the best they had the best Spice Girls routine. They had the best Spice Girls performance. They did not have the best Spice Girls outfit. That goes to, oh gosh, I think they were a French couple. Were they French? I can't remember. I'll put a picture of them up here. Editing is gonna hate me, but I don't care. Yeah, that was hands down the best costume, I think, of the night. I did really like that there was the 90s theme, so we got a lot more. As much as I absolutely adore most of the costumes all the time, there was a lot more personality came through in the costuming for the ice dance this time. So I'm really looking forward to see what we get from it tonight. I'm not sure that there's a theme for the free skate. I think it's much more individualistic, so that could be quite a lot of fun. And then, yeah, the evening ended with the women's free skate, which was, holy crap. So the first skater went, and oh bless her, she was so incredibly nervous. And yeah, she fell quite a lot. We felt so bad for her. But, you know, she persevered and she kept getting up, and she was wonderful. And then I think my favourite skate of the night, I need to double check where she came in overall, because I know like she wasn't near the top 5. But my favourite skate of the night absolutely goes to Josephine Talagrad. She skated to Celine Dion's When You Touch Me Like This, When You Hold Me Like That, whatever that song is called. Oh my gosh, the emotion that came through it, that was the skate of her life. Everything, there was not a red box in sight, there was no negative GOE, everything was clean. And I swear like half the stadium were in tears by the end of it. She was crying by the end of it. She just was wonderful. During the resurfacing, I actually sent a clip to a friend, and she's like, oh, that was really good. She's like, am I right in thinking she does not have like a typical skater body? And it's like, no, she's not quite a 13-year-old waif anymore, because she is 30. So she has literally over a decade on some of these skaters. But I think that really worked in her favour, because there was just a certain maturity and understanding of what she was skating that just is really difficult for, say, a 17 or 18-year-old to do. But genuinely, I will also link that specific performance down below, because yeah, I'm going to be thinking of that skate for a very long time. My other standouts from the women's free were Ekaterina Kurakova. She's always been one of my favourite female skaters. And unfortunately, she's not always the most consistent, but she's always one of the best to watch. I think she's always such a joy. She really brings that love and excitement of being on the ice to her performances, whatever she does. And so yeah, I was definitely looking forward to it, but I was a little bit nervous for her, because consistency has not been her strong point, and she has struggled a bit this season. But my girl was on fire. She landed everything. She did it so well. She was also skating to the Moulin Rouge, and yeah, it wasn't quite enough to put her up in the standings. She was in second place after she skated, but I think she has finished, I want to say she has finished in top 5 or top 6. Like she still did really, really well this season so far. I'm not sure I don't know if she's going to Worlds, but she's definitely doing Olympics, so still get to see more of her this season, and I am excited. But okay, this Rambly update has been a little over 20 minutes now, so I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go fill my water bottle, brush my hair again, brush my teeth. I need to nip to Sainsbury's. There's a Sainsbury's on my way to the tram. I'm going to pop in there and get some lunch items, because yesterday between the rhythm dance and the women's free, I did queue for an hour for chips and ate the chips during the women's, because the arena they were not equipped for thousands of people wanting food, hot food, at 5:30. You know, there's like an hour-long break between the two competitions at approximately the beginning of supper time, tea time. Excuse me. Is it really that inconceivable that most of us are going to be hungry by this point? So I am going to skip the queue today, and I'm going to pop to Sainsbury's and just grab a meal deal or something, so that I have more than enough to eat. Yeah, I think that's it. I will maybe chat to you tonight, depending on how excited I am when I get home. If not, I will chat to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Good evening. Fairly quick update, just to end the night off. Today was amazing once again. I don't think it's quite going to be the same level of highlights that yesterday was, but that is just simply because, with the exception of Lila Fuhr and Lewis Gibson, my favourite skaters were all yesterday. My favourite event is the women's individuals, and today it was the men's and it was the men's free skate and the ice dancing free dance. They were amazing. The men's, again, it was a really good event, but none of my favourite skaters were there. So I'm not going to complain too much because I did see some absolutely incredible skating, but unfortunately, Kevin Amos didn't actually qualify for the free skate, so I didn't get to see him. And I think I had previously mentioned Adam Xiaoheng was not competing. He actually withdrew just before Christmas. So they were they're kind of like my two favorite European men. I think they might be my favorite men all round. I'm just thinking of like non-Europeans. But yeah. But even despite that, there were still some really, really excellent skaters. Nika Igadze from Georgia. I kind of want to judge him a little bit for having Ekateri, however you pronounce her name, the Russian coach, Kamila Valieva's coach, that coach. She's Nika Igadze's coach, so I kind of really want to judge him a bit for that because, she's just not someone I think should be coaching anyone impressionable, is my honest opinion here. That said, whatever her methods are, they're working for Nika, because he blew it out of the park in comparison to the rest of the skaters. He was a significant amount of points ahead. So you know what? I judge him a little bit for his choice in coach, but it is working for him, and he has picked her for a reason. They are getting the results. So, you know, in his position, would I do the same? I mean, probably not, because her coaching style is absolutely not something that works for me. I need my hand held. I need you to encourage me, and she's just gonna shout at you. But that's what some people need. So, you know. That said, his performance was incredible, and I was watching it going, yeah, there's no doubt he came off the ice. It was just like, I don't know why we're waiting for the score. Just hand him the medal already, you know? The ice dance was really good. I actually think, despite the fact that the individual events tend to be what I favor more, today the ice dance was definitely the highlight of the day. Probably has a lot to do with the fact that I got to see Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson, and they were utterly incredible. I turned up at the arena just after 10, so I got to see the official practices for the ice dancers. So I got to see a good chunk of their routine in the morning, but they didn't. And because they, at one point, they played their music, and got to see bits of it. And obviously I've seen it streamed in previous competitions and the Grand Prix and things, but just being there in that arena with that crowd, where they did it start to finish, it was incredible. It's going to be old news. It's probably already old news, and it ended less than an hour ago. But they took home the bronze, the only British medal, which we kind of expected at this event. They should have had silver. I don't think they were going to get gold. Cizeron and Baudry Fontaine, or Fontaine Prodrio. However, Guillaume, Cizeron and Lawrence, the newly formed French pair, which of one half is the current reigning world champion. Even after their short program, we kind of knew they were going to be very, very difficult to beat. In order to beat them, we were basically relying on them making a mistake. Unfortunately, they did not, not unfortunately for them, massive congratulations to them. They did not make a mistake. Unfortunately, Lewis did. It was just a little one, but it was a costly one. He stepped out. I had a little bit of a stumble at the end of the end of the twizzles, and yeah, couldn't even cover it up. It was like, yeah, that was the entire arena. We're all clapping away in time to the beat, and it's literally clap, 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 ooh, clap, 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 clap. Like the entire arena, every one of us was like, oh, like. It's one, you can hear it. I highly recommend, I'll add it to the list of everything else, every other performance I'm going to link down below. But I really recommend going and checking that out. It is just an incredibly fun performance as well. They are doing a Scottish medley, so there is some proclaimers, there's a bit of Little Flowment and Auld Lang Syne. But it got like a really upbeat pace to it. I've actually just rewatched their performance on YouTube, because I wanted to hear what the commentary was saying. I also actually wanted to see the score. I could hear the scores as they were giving out, and I could see where they were placing, but the screen was just small enough. I was at too much of an angle, because I was quite off to the side. I was perfect for watching, but I couldn't see the scores. It was too much of an angle at one side, and it was too small in the center. Apparently people around me could read it, so I might need to get my eyes tested. I'm fairly certain I can see well enough to drive. That is not an issue. It's just the tiny little. I'm having actually flashbacks to when I was 15, and this is how we realised I needed glasses in the first place, when we were watching Wimbledon and my mum and grandma could read the scores and I couldn't. But yeah, that is my update. Right,
I am going to go drink my cup of tea, drain my overcooked noodles. I might leave my shower till the morning. But yeah, I'm going to wind down a little bit. I don't need to be back in the arena until 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon because there is only the gala. So I will chat to you guys maybe in the morning. I need to figure out what I'm doing in the morning. Breakfast in the hotel is until 10 o'clock, so I'll probably still get up about 8, half 8, go down, grab breakfast. Which is a little bit later than I've been grabbing breakfast and getting up the last 2 days. And then, yeah, I need to figure out what I'm doing in Sheffield tomorrow. I don't know, I might go find like a little cafe or something and just maybe have brunch, grab a coffee, do a bit of reading. Naturally, I have not done any reading today. I was never going to get any reading done yesterday or today, so we just accept that. I can't decide whether I want to pick fake skating back up or not, so I will figure that out tomorrow. If not, there's a 50% chance I'm going to DNF it, so we will see. Yeah, in the meantime, I'll chat to you guys later. Bye.
Hello, hi. Okay, first off, I apologize for however I sound right now. I am really hoping that this is just a result of, I got cold this morning. I have spent a couple of hours cheering and wooing and yaying and yelling. And then I had curry noodle soup noodle for my tea. I'm really hoping that this is just a combination of all of that and I've not picked up a travel souvenir, as it were. But yeah, as a result, I am going to try and keep this relatively quick because all I actually want to do right now is drink my tea, go have another shower, and crawl into bed and watch some TV. And maybe read. I don't know. I'm not sure if I've got the brain capacity for reading right now. But yeah, I didn't give you another update this morning because it is now nighttime. I realized that the update I gave you guys last night pretty much covered everything I needed to tell you about yesterday. So yeah, skating was amazing. That's the crux of it. Today, there was no competition today, but it was the gala, which is basically like the celebratory, let's just show off and have a bit of fun, where all the rules go out the window for the skaters. It's always, I've watched a few of them on the ISU channel, which obviously I'm pimping out, because I have told so many people about their YouTube channel. I'm like, why do people not know about this? Because hands down, it is an absolute gem, and just like I would not be able to watch nearly as much figure skating as I do without it. So yeah, go follow the ISU official YouTube channel. It is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about figure skating. But yeah, tangent, sorry. I have watched a few galas, but once again, just watching it in person, it was incredible. As well as seeing the routines, just being surrounded by that crowd, and it was a complete, fully sold out house, was incredible. Highlights, again, I'll link it down below. So there's going to be a few videos. I'm going to try and narrow it down to just like 3 or 4 of my favourite highlights from the entire week, or like the 3 days I've been watching. But from today, I think my gala highlight has to be Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. Not only because, they're the British champions for figure skating, for ice dancing specifically. Fun fact, they have won more British nationals than Torvill and Dean. So yeah, that has to be something, right? But for their exhibition skates, they were skating to These Boots Are Made for Walking. And the first half of the routine involved them dressed as a pair of skates. I took a picture. Now, I didn't take any pictures or filming of any of the competition, but I did take a picture of this. So here are Lila and Lewis, literally dressed as a pair of figure skates. It was amazing. Oh man, it was the perfect way to end this experience and this holiday. And yeah, I now need to just do my darndest to make it to any and all competitions I possibly can. Probably can't afford to this year because I'm fairly certain I'll be in Korea, so I probably can't do the Grand Prix de France for 2026. Maybe next year. The synchronized figure skating world championships are going to be in Nottingham next year, so I could do that. Yeah. Before I went to the gala, hopefully I've inserted some of the B-roll, or as I just pointed to the corner like I'm going to put it up there, but no, sorry, Amy, editing Amy, you don't need to worry about that. You've already put it in. You put it in before this clip, in theory. But yeah, I got up. I have realised that 8 o'clock is sort of like the sweet spot for getting breakfast in this hotel. Because I had a slightly later one today, and I didn't go down until 9, and oh my god, so many people in a relatively small breakfast area. The queue for the coffee machine. Because the tea comes from the same thing. Like the hot water for the tea comes from the same machine. So even if you didn't want coffee, which, first thing in the morning I do, or especially when I'm on holiday. Yeah, the queue. And there's only one coffee machine. There should be 2, because one is just not enough. And yeah, just constant weaving around people, and people just walking in front of you. It's I appreciate it's first thing in the morning, and not all of us are functioning on even half of our cogs. that doesn't mean I'm not actually physically there. Mentally, I'm still in my bed, but, you know, physically I am still here, so no, you do not get to literally push me out of the way to get to the toaster. Yeah, I just slightly frazzled start to the morning. Also doesn't help, the weather was really miserable today. It was absolutely chucking it down, so I had a bit of a delay to... my plan was to just kind of go and wander about and explore the city today. I had a bit of a delay. I left the hotel and was like, it's chucking it down. I'll be fine. Initially, I was just going to go to the Waterstones Cafe, but it was still closed when I got there. Apparently, it's a Sunday. Everything opens that little bit later. So I ended up in Costa. So I sat and read in Costa for a little bit. Yeah, eventually the rain did stop, and then I spent about 2 hours just literally just wandering about the city, up and down streets and whatnot. Popped into a couple of shops just for a nosy. There was one, it was like a Korean store, Oseon, something. So it's basically a Chinese supermarket, but a Korean supermarket. Bought a couple of things. I actually managed to get some hayashi rice, hayashi stew paste cubes, which is something I've not had since I was in uni. I used to be able to get them in one of the Chinese supermarkets in Edinburgh, but I've not seen it, certainly not since I moved up to Inverness. So that was really nice. It's basically like a Japanese gravy, like a really thick, it's not quite tomatoey, but it's just like this really rich, oniony, tomatoey, stewy gravy. It's lovely. And I've not been able to find anything even closely similar to it here, or at least not that I can, like, my memory of what it tastes like. So I am probably going to make that at some point this week. I picked up a couple of them, and yeah, just a couple of other like little snacky things that I can't get in Matthew's up north. But other than that, yeah, it was just a lot of wandering around, which probably, if this is a lurgy, really hope it's not. The wandering around in the cold probably didn't help. But then again, I've spent sort of like 12 to 14 hours every day for the last 2 days sitting in an ice rink, so if I have come down with something, it was almost inevitable, especially because the arena, the ice rink, holds like 6,000 people, and on Friday it was about, I want to say on Friday it was about 75% capacity by the end. Yesterday and today it was completely full. There was like maybe a handful of empty seats. I would say the section that had the most spare seats were the seats that are reserved for the skaters and their guests. But even over time they kept filling up, so yeah, it's probably this, whatever this is, it was inevitable. But yeah, and then after that, the gala, it was so lovely. It was so good. And then yeah, that finished about, I think it finished just after 5. I do have to say, having Friday and Saturday, having spent, I think it was 12 hours on Friday and then 14 hours yesterday in the ice rink, because I went and watched practice as well as the actual competition. A 2-hour gala, and I got there early. So I was there for about, I want to say like 2 3/4, 3 hours. A 2-hour gala feels so short. Like, blinking it's over compared to like each individual competition event lasts like 4 or 5 hours. So yeah, I was so shocked when they were like, and the finale, and I'm like, wait, we've only been here for a couple of hours. What the heck? So yeah, perspective is everything, isn't it? Context is everything. But yeah, after that, I hopped on the tram. Wow, flashbacks, all 3, leaving on all 3 days. Huge, horrible flashbacks to the buses at Disney and that crush. If you've ever experienced that, I'm sorry, it's like the only bad part. It's the only downside of heading to Disney. If you're staying in like a hotel on the Strip, there's like the free shuttle bus between the Strip and Disney, and the crush at the end of the night. Oof. That is what it was like today. Today in particular, actually, it was the last 2 nights. Like, there's been a lot of people, and I think on Friday night I got the third tram after I started queuing. Yesterday was the second tram. Today, in theory, it was even better because I got the first. It was the first tram. From when I started queuing. It's just that I should have been the last person, or maybe like the second to last person on, because I kind of eyeballed it and I was like, oh, fuck it, just go for it. 6 other people had the same thought. I have never been in so much physical contact with people in a very, I want to say in a very long time, but possibly ever. Someone decided to take his coat off after the tram started moving. There's probably a bruise on my boob. There's probably a bruise on the woman next to me's boob as well, to be honest. I had already, before I got on the tram, I had already taken my backpack off, so I was sort of like hugging it because it feels really, I don't like having it on my back in such a crowd. But because I was holding it sort of like in front of me like that, a slightly taller person was in front of me, so I kept basically punching their butt. Someone kept touching my butt. Like, no part of me, the only part of me that wasn't in contact with someone was my side, which was right up against the wall. It was horrible. Technically, I needed to get off the tram tonight. Technically, I needed to get off 2 stops before I did, like after I did. I got off 2 stops early. I got off at Fitzallen instead of Cathedral and just walked the rest of the way, which I mean, it was only like 10 minutes. But I was like, I'm not staying on this tram any longer than I absolutely have to because it's not worth it. Yeah, and then I went back to the same place I ate at on Thursday. I can't remember if I already told you this or not. But just in case, I had tea, dinner, supper, whatever, at Pho, which is, if anyone's ever in Sheffield, I highly recommend this Vietnamese restaurant. Pho is located in Leonid Square. And I had some summer rolls with a nuruk cham, I think it was called, which is like a chili vinaigrette dipping sauce. It was really nice. And yeah, then tonight I had the curry. It was tofu and mushroom curry noodle soup. And it was excellent. And then I came back here and I made a cup of tea and I started talking to you guys. So yeah, slightly longer update than I anticipated and probably should be giving you. But you're not going to hear from me again the rest of the night because, as I think I previously mentioned, I'm going to drink my tea. I'm going to have a shower. I think in that order, I might actually just go straight into the shower. I will figure that out as soon as I stop recording. And then, yeah, I'm going to either watch some YouTube or Netflix or something for the rest of the night. Definitely get an earlier night than I have the last couple of nights. It's been well after midnight. And then, yeah, I will probably be home when I chat to you guys next.